Hello and welcome to Oh Hi Films Reviews. Today we're going to be talking about Malignant, which released in UK cinemas on September 10th. I'm Cameron, and Jordi Steele is going to tell you a little bit about the movie.
A woman's past comes back to haunt her, literally, as she sees visions of a murderous serial killer who shares the same name as her childhood imaginary friend. It was directed by James Wan, who did Aquaman, as well as The Conjuring, Insidious. He did Insidious, yeah.
Yes, yep.
Annabelle and The Nun.
He's had his hand in like every single horror franchise basically going at this point. I think he did a Saw at some point. I don't even know if he's something to do with Saw or something like that, but...
Did he not? I think he made Saw, didn't he?
Did he make Saw?
I think he's also done Fast and Furious films.
Yep.
I've only seen Aquaman. From the way that he's touted in the horror genre world, people seem to really like him. I don't understand why,
myself included,
based on this film.
Yeah, this is such a departure for him in terms of quality, because like his Conjuring movies are like great for what they are. Like the horror, like he kind of like reinvigorated horror in a way, like popular horror, I guess. Not like reinvigorate. Like he did that and made that like a bankable thing. Like the Conjuring franchise is still going to this day. It's like the Marvel movies of horror at this point. Like it is just, you can always rely on that to make money, and he's making a lot of money for Warner Brothers. But yeah, just in terms of the actual, this is probably his worst film to date, I would say.
Yeah.
Easily.
Yeah. This film, I thought they were being very clever at the start, because it starts off in this sort of asylum, medical hospital looking place. But then it, and the acting is terrible. And I thought it was going to like zoom out and it's on a TV and there's a child watching an 80s D-list horror film. But no, that's the film. And the quality of acting does not heighten. It does not go further than that sort of acting. It was very cheesy. No one really shows emotion in this film, apart from the main character Madison when she's acting. When her actor tries to cry or is supposed to be sad, it feels like a lot of just the way that people were acting. It felt like somebody had recorded their first take after just learning their lines and went, "Yep, let's move on."
That'd be fun.
Yeah, because a lot of the times you're like, I can see you remembering your line.
This
thinking. Isn't good.
You're trying.
Yeah, you're thinking. Yeah. You don't know what the next word is. Yeah. And
the horror isn't even scary, I thought. I think the initial set piece with the husband who's in it, that's okay. Like that's all right, well done. There's a bit of spookiness. But also, then it makes no sense. Oh, no, but it does make sense. But then it doesn't make sense because the twist. It's stuff like it took me a minute to wrap my head around all that afterwards. Because it's very odd. But overall, as the film goes on, I think the horror gets worse and worse and less imaginative. Even then, even its quiet bang moments don't land. You know, like its jump scares are just not jumpy nor scary. It's such a meh.
Yeah, it's one of those times where that's the problem with loads of horror films where it's like once you see the monster, it's no longer really scary. It comes in the third scene, like 10 minutes in, and it's just it's not scary, and then it stops being this sort of spectral monster and becomes a physical person, becomes a physical thing. So it's very strange. There's something strange about seeing like a supernatural character running through the streets of a city, as a costumed person and no longer this sort of special effects creature.
There's like a proper shootout as well midway through the film, and like it just feels very like tonally like it doesn't know what it wants to do. I think this could have been a really cool idea if it was more contained as well. Like it just seems to just want to go all over and do loads of different things, and I think it just doesn't fit that at all. I think the monster itself did not fit that idea, I thought.
Yeah, a lot of it felt like James Wan, while I was writing it, was just like, I don't know, and then he calls the doctor. Everything sort of... There's stuff that's set up in the first few minutes that only maybe a quarter of an hour later is brought back into it, and it doesn't feel like there's been enough time to be in the present day without it. So it feels like it's almost from the perspective of this monster, which takes a lot of the mystery out of it.
That's the thing though, is the idea of the monster. I don't want to give too much away. I think the idea, the way that the twist that happens, and the idea I want to just say the idea of being trapped, I guess, if that makes sense to you, the premise of that, and not really seeing what you believe. I think that idea could have worked well for so many different kind of horror based antics, I guess. They could have done so much of it, but they just don't.
They could have made it feel like a film based on like sleep apnea. Not sleep apnea, what's the word I'm looking for?
Sleep paralysis.
Sleep paralysis, because that happens a lot in the film. Where the character have been this
really interesting like psychological like horror mixed in with some of like the body horror stuff, but the mainly just psychological stuff, like where you just what you're is this the thing, or is this like my imagination? Is this I can't move? I can't, you know what I mean? Because that was one of the scariest bits was when she could not move and the monster was sort of like controlling what she saw, like or getting warped around, if that makes sense, like her house, and she saw had this vision. That's not too spoilery, is it? That's not. I wouldn't say that's too spoilery. No, but it's
she's having visions. The world sort of changes around her, so she's in the room with the monster when it's killing its victims. It doesn't. This film doesn't know what it wants to be tonally. The score blatantly rips off Pixie's "Where's My Mind?"
I thought it
at multiple points.
Is it in the credits? I want to look that up because is it in the credits? Like, because
I couldn't find it. It wasn't on IMDb.
Was it not? Because that annoyed me because I was like, because it was like do 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 do, but then it changed it slightly so it wasn't completely ripping it off. Just so like one note goes up instead of down, and you're like,
it really didn't know what it was trying to be with its the tone of its score, because it felt like it was trying to be sort of punky and like almost like I don't know what it was trying to be, but it did not work. Just to sum up, it is a very boring film. It has an interesting twist, but that it does not make up for its terrible writing and acting.
What did you think, though? You can let us know in the comments below. You can subscribe to us on YouTube. Like us on Facebook while you're if you're watching us on Facebook. You can follow us on Twitter at OI Films. I'm at CamzoOG. Jordi is at RealJordiSteele. And you can find all the other stuff we do on ohifilms.com. So thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.